Hi guys, it's Amy here and today I'm bringing you my June book haul. So at some point this year, later in the year, I'm going to be moving out of my family home where all of these books are kept and moving in with my best friend. We don't know where we're going to live yet, we don't know how much space there's going to be, so I have no idea if all these books are going to be able to come with me and where I'm going to put them. And so with that in mind, I am trying to keep back from buying too many books at the moment. Even so, I do have books to show you for a book haul because I've been sent a few from publishers and there were like 3 that I bought myself, which I think is fair enough, you know, 3 is not too many. I'm also being very strict with what books I keep on my shelf, so if any have received like 3 or less stars, then they're probably just going to be given straight to the charity shop or to friends that want them, because I just don't have space for books that are not like 4 or 5 stars. So let's jump into today's book haul. First I'll show you the books from publishers. To kick things off, I have 3 books here from the Penguin's Essentials collection, which I think is kind of the Penguin's like would-be classics or will-be classics kind of things, and these are really, really beautiful. They're in a very small format. This one here is called A Start in Life by Anita Brooker. I saw a review written by Simon over at Savage Reads on his blog about this one and it took my interest, and so I said that I would be happy to receive this one. From the back it is about a young woman who is kind of discovering herself, and she moves from London and goes to Paris and tries to work out what her life is and where she needs to go and things like that. So it sounds like something I would enjoy, to be honest. Second one that Penguin sent over was Twilight by Elie Wiesel. You may remember last year I read Night by the same author and I absolutely loved it. I think it was in my top books of the year, where that one was a non-fiction account of his experience living through Auschwitz. This one I believe is fiction but still centred around World War II. You guys know that I am a big fan of books set during World War II, so I jumped at the chance of having this one. The first line of the blurb says, "A professor of literature and a Holocaust survivor, Raphael longs to find Pedro, the man who rescued him as an orphan in post-war Poland." Sounds like my kind of book. And then the third and final one from the Essentials range was The Circle by Dave Eggers. I've heard so many good things about this book. I've seen many of my friends haul it and show it on their channels, and so I am rather looking forward to reading it. From the reviews I've heard, I think it is quite like dark and it makes you really, really think. It sounds quite dystopian-y about a company called The Circle, which has control of everything, all of the computers, everyone's lives, everyone kind of logs in, as it were. And the main character is a woman who goes and works for the company and she kind of invests herself fully in it and then discovers that there might be a more sinister side to it. So yes, very much looking forward to this one. Penguin also contacted me and asked if I wanted to take part in their Penguin Pride book club, as it is Pride Month this month. They also sent over all these really, really nice postcards of the various books that are in this Pride book club. Lots of really, really pretty postcards. The 2 books that I requested from them were Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I've heard so many good things about this author, mainly from Sophie at Portal of the Pages, because she has read something from him recently and really, really loved it. So I'm very much looking forward to taking my first step into this author and seeing what it's like. And the second one they sent over was Rubyfruit Jungle by Rita Mae Brown. Both of these sound incredible. They're both kind of like classics as well, so you guys know how I love these kind of Penguin modern classics and books like that. I'm really hoping to read at least one of these by the end of the month, and I will let you know how I get along with it. You should probably see it in my wrap-up if I do, but should I not get to them in this month, you'll definitely see them both in a future wrap-up. From Skyhorse Publishing, I was sent South of Forgiveness, A True Story of Rape and Responsibility. This is a non-fiction book. It's like a memoir written by both Thordis, Elva and Tom Stranger. And it details when Tom raped Thordis whilst they were in a relationship when they were around 18 years old, I believe, and the aftermath of that rape, and then how they came back together and spoke years on and have been speaking, and then they meet, I think, in this book, and it details what happens when they meet and the forgiveness that comes from that. It sounds like an incredibly interesting story. I definitely have never read anything of this kind before. It is told through both the perspective of Thordis and Tom, I believe, but I think Tom's proceeds from this book, like he isn't getting any kind of money from this book. I think it is going to kind of supporting charities of people who have been raped. It also mentions here about a TED Talk, so I'd be interested to see them in kind of real life talking once I've read the book. I think it's going to be a really interesting one. I'll definitely let you know what I think of it once I finished it. And the final book from publishers sent over from Faber, that is The Park Bench, I hope it's not too shiny, by Chabouté? I'd be tempted to say, I might be saying that wrong. This is a silent graphic novel, which means it has no words. As you can see, it's all black and white, and what I can glean from it is that it's about a park bench. It says, a rest, a moment, a shelter, a refuge, a crossroads, a meeting place, just a few pieces of wood and steel. So the blurb doesn't give much away. I'm looking forward to reading this one. I've only read one other silent graphic novel earlier this year actually, which was The Arrival by Sean Tam, which I absolutely adored, so I'm hoping I love this one just as much. Moving on to the books I've actually bought myself, there are only 3 of them. Firstly we have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. You guys know that I'm collecting these editions, so I think this may be one of the only ones that I had left to buy, so I've now got the whole collection, I think. I believe I have. We'll have to see. If I show another one in a future book haul, you'll know that I didn't have the whole set. I did start this one years ago. I read about 100 pages of it and then forgot about it and then left it, and then by the time I came back I'd forgotten who the characters were, what was going on, and so I abandoned it. I'm hoping to read all of the Jane Austen books that I haven't actually read yet by the end of this year. I think it's totally doable because I think there are only few that I haven't read, so yes, you'll possibly see this one in a future wrap up this year. Next we have a book that was recommended to me by many of you guys in one of my recent recommendations videos, and that is Blindness by José Saramago, I think. In that recommendation video I spoke about The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham, which I absolutely adore, where all of the people on the planet end up kind of going blind, or the majority of the people end up going blind, and this sounds very similar. And so I think that's why a lot of you recommended it to me. It sounds brilliant. The last line of the blurb here is brilliant. No food, no water, no government, no order. This is not anarchy, this is blindness. Ooh. I'm actually really looking forward to this one because I haven't read a like dystopian or apocalyptic type book in a while, and I do really like reading books like that, so I have like a hankering for one at the moment. So yes, this could be read soon. And the final book I have to show you today is a stunning one, and that is Frenchmans Creek by Daphne du Maurier. I have slowly been buying my way through these Virago Modern Classic hardback editions of the Daphne du Maurier books. This I think is the only remaining novel in this collection. I think now I'll have to move on to paperback versions, but I think there's also a short story collection in this hardback edition, so I will be picking that one up as well. Again, this is one that I'm just really looking forward to reading. I just love the setting of Daphne du Maurier's books. I pretty much live in the area where most of these books are set, and so I just feel like I know the space and I can imagine it so well, and so all of them I've just really thoroughly enjoyed so far, so I'm hoping this is going to be equally as good as the other ones that I've read. So there we are, that was my June book haul. I'd love to hear if you've read any of these and what you thought of them. Let me know down below what you've acquired recently. As always, I will leave links to Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, everything I mentioned today down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and I will see you soon. Bye!